Hey there, I just wanted to give a quick update on some small changes I've made to Dreadwinter, my cozy cafe sim. My next devlog will be on the combat system in the game, which I'm currently in the process of overhauling. I think there's enough to talk about on that to cover an entire video, so I wanted to show some of the things I've been working on in between, since I'm quite happy with what I've done. If you're looking for more regular updates, I occasionally post some of the things I've made on my Instagram, as well as doing monthly write-ups on my website. So one of the things I recently added into the game was Dreadwinter's house, as despite being two of the main characters in the game, I never actually got around to designing their house, and they were just warping off screen at the end of the day. I wanted their house to be based in the middle of a forest, secluded from the rest of the world, and I originally was going to place it in Hollowwither's Edge, which is a forest dungeon next to Dreadwinter that I'm currently working on. For some reason, it never occurred to me before that I could add a path to the house in the forest area before the dungeon, which would make more sense, so I did that instead. I wanted to make a cozy, slightly spooky cottage for the two to live in. There's a manga called It's My Life, which is about a retired knight that builds his dream home, away from the world. It's a concept that stuck with me since I started working on this game, and I wanted their home to have a similar vibe. I tend to worry about my game missing that spooky feel, but I realised that I don't really playtest my game much at night, which is when the spooky elements should come into play. So something I'm starting to think about more is how things look in the dark, and adding elements that are more prominent during that time, since my goal is for night gameplay to be a core feature of the game. Another thing I'm trying to work on is adding more life to the world, and giving a more weathered feel to some of the areas. I think before, when I tried to add more detail to my scenes, I used a lot of objects that pushed themselves into the foreground, which made it look too busy. After looking at how other artists design their scenes, I think by blending the objects into the background, you can add detail without overwhelming the scene. I tried out this approach in the area around Dreadwinter, which is now in its third or fourth iteration. There will probably be more changes as I figure things out, but I think it's a good start. The last thing I wanted to show is the Generous Spring headquarters, which is based in Neo Solara, one of the cities you can visit in the game. I wanted it to be a mix of grand and cozy, and the idea I want to present is a company that fronts itself as a friendly, cozy place, while also looking like it could be the lair of a villain in the game. I still need to add some small details in, but it'll be easier to do that once I've set it up in the game. I also did my first character design in quite a while, and designed Spring, the CEO of Generous Spring, a witch, and one of Winter's sisters. One thing I noticed is that the character sprites during dialogues were scaled up, which I think I did to fit the style of the dialogue boxes, but was making the characters seem off in some way. I redesigned the dialogue boxes and changed the scaling back to 1:1, which I think looks cleaner. Some of the earlier characters do need some adjustments, but I don't think it's as much as I thought I would need to do. My current roadmap for the near future is to finish revamping the combat system, then work on the game intro. I was originally planning to do the intro first, but I wanted to do something a bit more programming heavy, since I was mostly doing design work before that. Once that's done, I'll be finishing and cleaning up the existing content in the game, since there's a decent amount of loose ends. After that, I think the game would be in a state where I'd be happy to release an updated demo. Bear in mind there's still a huge amount of content to add, but I think I would have enough done for players to try out for an hour or two and get some feedback. I'd say that could happen around May or June if things go well. At the very least, I could do some private playtests before releasing a public demo, and I'll keep you updated on that. That's it for this devlog. Like and subscribe, check out my other socials if you'd like to know more, wishlist Dreadwinter if you haven't, and thanks for watching.